Hello everyone, today we're going to go over 3 different boxing styles that we commonly see. So we're going to cover who they're used by, the pros and cons and some of their characteristics. So don't worry if your style doesn't match any of these. These are just 3 common examples that we usually see in boxing, and like I said, don't stress. If you don't box like this, you're going to develop your own style in time. So good luck, have fun and enjoy the video. Okay, so the first style is Olympic boxing. Most of the time you're going to see this in the Olympics or in amateur boxing. It is a point scoring system, unlike professional boxing where that is more of a prize fighter and they're looking for the knockout. So a lot of the time with the Olympic style or in amateur boxing or in the Olympics, you will see lots of in and out movement, lots of fast combinations, different angles, and the idea is to score points in and out and to not be hit. I like to describe it as fencing. So in fencing, it's people in and out, touching, and not being there for their opponent. So some thoughts to this would be if you were facing a kind of more of a pro style, Mexican style boxer and you're in and out, they're going to look for the counter punch. So when you're using all that in and out movement, sometimes it's quite predictable and you can get caught with the counter shot. One person to have a look at is quite a famous amateur boxer, multiple time world champion, and he just missed out on the Olympics this year. His name is Harry Garside, he's from over east in Australia. Very, very good boxer, uses that in and out movement perfectly. He's a southpaw, actually does ballet to help with his feet. So if you ever want to have a look at somebody who I'm describing in this, Harry Garside is his name, and yeah, take a look. The Olympic style is very effective, but like everything, it has its pros and it has its cons. Okay, so the next style that we're going to go over is the pressure fighter, or as some people like to call it, the Mexican style of fighting. So the characteristics are really in the name, so lots of forward pressure, backing your opponent up and trying to land big combinations, whether they're in the corner or on the ropes. So 2 people that are very famous for using this kind of style is Mr. Iron Mike Tyson. So he used lots of head movement and forward pressure to land the knockout blow. Or somebody in more recent times is Marcus Maidana. He used lots of overwhelming forward pressure to really back his opponent up onto the ropes or into the corner, where then he can land his combination or his flurries. So this isn't a style that I personally recommend. Everyone is different, but it's not something that I coach or teach. The reason is with all that forward pressure, you can leave yourself quite vulnerable and become predictable, and you can be caught with a knockout shot or just lots of easy shots to land. So, like I said, not something that I recommend, but everyone is different. Okay, so the next style that we're going to go over is a counter puncher. So, what is counter punching? Counter punching is where we can make our opponent miss and then make him pay by hitting them back. We can do this by slipping to the side, rolling underneath, or even leaning back. There's many different ways to do it. Sometimes it's also used with a setup. So, what's a setup? The easiest way to describe it is by throwing a jab, and then most of the time your opponent's going to throw a jab back. From there I can slip the punch and then throw a counter punch from there. That's just one way to use a setup. So who uses counter punching? A very famous person that uses counter punching is a guy called Canelo Alvarez. So he uses a bit more forward pressure. He likes to slip and roll underneath punches, and then he looks for the opening. So most of the time he lands a big knockout blow, which he's really famous for. So this is a style which I think has really no flaws, or a little bit, but it's very, very effective. And I think if it's done properly and executed perfectly, then it's beautiful to watch.